Hey Todd, I'm going and looking for a gym, actually. I hear you've joined a gym. Which one?
Yeah, actually, there's a real nice gym downtown that just opened about maybe 2 months ago. It's really nice.
Okay. What's the name of it?
The name is Fitness Club.
Ah,
Yeah.
Good name.
It pretty much has everything. I mean, it has, free weights, of course, and it
Yes.
has all the latest machines.
Oh, good.
Yeah, actually, some of the machines are kind of tricky. I really don't know how they work yet, so I have to ask the staff.
So it's more than a treadmill. It's a whole big machine that you don't know what to do.
Exactly. I'm actually afraid to get on the thing. I don't want to break it.
Is there people there that can help you?
Yeah, actually, that's part of the problem is you can't use any of the equipment unless you get trained for it. They're really specific.
Oh, okay.
So you have to have guidance. It's kind of annoying, actually, because, everything, they have a system and they know based on, your membership what machines you can use and what you can't. And yeah.
Oh, okay. But what happens if, I've been to a gym before? Do I still need to get the training before I start?
Yeah, that's how I was. I told them that I, had been lifting weights for a while and they didn't care. So you have to get certified to use all the equipment. It's kind of inconvenient.
Okay, so do they have classes, though?
They do. Actually, they have pretty much everything. They have yoga, kickboxing, spin classes, dancing. So, and the schedule looks, pretty diverse.
Oh, that's good. I do prefer classes than the weights.
Yeah. Only one thing that's bad about the classes, though, is that because it's new and it's a new gym, there's lots of people, and it looks like it's pretty crowded in there. I think you have to reserve what classes you're going to join.
Oh, really?
Yeah, isn't that terrible?
Oh, geez. I'm usually just like to walk in.
Right. I know.
When you feel like going to the gym, you go.
Right. One thing that is nice, though, is they have an actual gym floor, like a basketball gym. So you can play basketball. They have volleyball tournaments. So, I mean, if you like more traditional sports, like tennis, they also have tennis courts. You can do that as well.
Oh, that's good. I do like tennis. I love tennis, actually.
Well, actually, if you're interested, I'd be glad to, take you down to the gym and show you, I think you get a free trial workout.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So how much would it cost per month?
Well, because it's new, it's kind of expensive. It costs about $50 a month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But if you buy a membership, a 2-year membership, you can get a 2-year membership, I think, for $800. So it saves you some money, so it's kind of reasonable.
And I suppose if you pay for two, you have to go then.
Right. It's $800 for 2 years, $500 for 1 year, or $50 a month.
Okay.
So, one thing that's really cool too is they have a social center. They have like an area where you can get like fruit drinks and coffee and stuff like that and just hang out. It's quite nice.
That's good. So after the workout, go and have coffee.
Right.
Lovely. Okay, so I'd love to come and have a look at it.
Okay, well next week anytime, just give me a call and I'll take you there.
All right, great. Thanks.
So, Jana, you told me that you'd been a student in 3 different countries, and now you're teaching in Japan, which is yet another different country. Sounds really interesting.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I did my undergraduate degree in Prague, in the Czech Republic, and as a part of that, I did an exchange program in Madrid for 1 semester. And after that, I moved to Sydney in Australia, and I did my master's there, and now I teach in Japan, so yeah, you're right.
Wow, that sounds really interesting. Curious about the student life in these different countries. Do you think there are big differences in these countries in terms of student life?
Well, I haven't been a student in Japan, but I can sort of compare from my experience. I think it is quite different. In Prague, it was very serious study environment sort of thing, and a lot of my classmates were a bit older as well, so they were like really interested in the subject they're studying, and it's more like autonomous learning, so everybody spends a lot of time in the library researching and reading and that sort of thing, and the teachers were really good in their subjects, but they were great experts, but maybe they were not really good teachers.
Right.
So at that time, I didn't really enjoy that environment. I felt it's too advanced for me. I would have preferred some bit more guidance, maybe. But Sydney was different too, because there's so many international students. So it was a whole different experience, not just about study, but meeting people from different countries. And I guess Japan and Spain might be a little bit similar in a way.
Really? How come?
I felt in Spain it was more teacher-fronted style of teaching, so students taking notes and perhaps not participating so much. And I guess it depends on the student, but maybe some of them were not that interested in the subject, and it's a similar kind of feeling I get in Japan.
Okay. How about studying in Sydney? Was that in that way? Was it really different? People more active and participating students?
I guess it depends on the student. Some students were more active than others, but I suppose they were there by choice. They wanted to experience studying in another country and expand their horizons, so I think they were a bit more active.
You said about that people in Prague were really serious students. How about the students in Spain and in Sydney, in Australia?
Right. Well, in Spain, I actually found it difficult to become friends with local students, although you might think that Spanish people are really friendly and open, but actually it was quite difficult to get into the local life. So most of my friends were other international students too, to be honest. But I think they all had, part-time jobs and their own activities outside of school that they were interested in.
So Jana, we were talking about academic life in different countries, but how about daily life for students? Did students also have part-time jobs, and where did they eat? Did they eat at home or in dorms, or did they go out?
So my life in Prague was quite different because I was living with my parents, but obviously I would go to university for the lectures or seminars, and I think most of my classmates had part-time jobs or even full-time jobs, and they would study sort of in their free time. And in the Czech Republic, usually students go to university in their city, so they stay at home with their parents, but if they choose to go to a different city, then they would stay at dormitory. So some of my classmates who were living in dormitory, I felt like they have more social life than I do, because that's where all the social events happen.
Right.
I have actually never lived in a dormitory, so I don't know what it's like.
So how about student life in Spain?
I suppose it depends on the students. Maybe local students, international students might have different lifestyles, but I was living with a host family, and they cooked for me once a week. That was really nice. Every Sunday we had a really nice meal. But apart from that, I would eat at the cafeteria or cook at home. And I didn't have a part-time job, but I think a lot of my classmates did. It wasn't so easy for international students to find work. So
really? And then you moved to Sydney. How did that change things for you?
Well, Sydney is a lot of fun. There are so many international students, so many different cultures. And it's a big part of education, actually. International education in Australia is a huge business as well.
Oh, really?
So there are so many international students. In fact, in my class, I think there were maybe 2 Australians.
Wow.
And the rest were all from all over the world.
I also had a friend who studied as an international student in Sydney, and he told me that it's quite expensive for international students to live there. Is that true?
That's right. One, you have to pay the tuition fees, but also depending on where you come from, you need to apply for a student visa, and often one of the requirements is you need to show that you have enough funding for the whole course.
Right.
Then the actual living cost might not be that high, depends where you live. A lot of students share houses.
Right.
Or work part-time as well.
So part-time work is allowed then?
Yes, you can work up to 20 hours per week while on a student visa.
Right. So you can have some income at least to support yourself.
That's right.
Where did you live in Sydney? And did you have a share mate or something like that?
Yeah, I lived in a share house with other students. It's a really common thing to do in Sydney because the rent is so expensive.
Oh, really?
So not only students but even working adults often share apartments. So yeah, I actually moved maybe 5 times while I was there. So
sounds pretty hard, actually.
It was fun to try living in different areas and with different people.
Great.
Hello, Felipe. How are you?
Hello, Catherine. I'm fine. You?
Good, good. Actually, I'm starving, and I wanted to ask you about food. What is your favorite Colombian food?
Well, in Colombia we have many different kinds of food, but something that I would recommend you to eat is the bandeja. Bandeja paisa is a traditional Colombian food and is made out of meat, fried meat, potatoes. You have also salad, rice, corn, and some sausages. That's really delicious. That's something I recommend you to try.
Bandeja. I have heard of it. What about something else? Maybe, do you have soups in Colombia?
Yes, you're right. We have many different kinds of soups in Colombia because in Colombia there are many different kinds of potatoes and corn. So, for example, if you travel to the central part of Colombia, if you travel to the capital, Bogota, you will find a soup called ajiaco. Ajiaco is composed of potatoes, corn, some cream, and also some meat, you know. It's quite delicious.
It sounds delicious. Now, you said that there are many different types of potatoes. What do you mean, different types of potatoes?
Yeah, what I mean is that there are different sizes of potatoes. You have big potatoes, you have small potatoes, and they taste different also. You have sweet ones, you have sour ones, and you have many different kind of taste.
It really sounds delicious. What about drinks? What would you recommend as a Colombian drink?
Well, if you go to Colombia, you should try Colombian juices because we have different kinds of fruits in the Amazon region, in the highlands, and in the coastal region. So, for example, there is a fruit called guanabana. Guanabana is a delicious fruit, and I don't think there's something like that fruit somewhere else in the world. So you have to try it. It tastes different. It's delicious. It's a traditional Colombian fruit.
Guanabana. Definitely, I'm going to try. Thank you, Felipe.
Okay, you're welcome.
Hello, Felipe. How are you?
Fine, thank you. You?
Good, good. Listen, I heard that you know a lot about Ecuadorian food. Can you tell me a little bit about it? What is your favorite, or what is it that you don't like? Can you just enlighten me a little bit?
Well, yeah, in Ecuador, pretty much all the food in Ecuador is delicious. For example, we have fritada, which is some fried meat, pork meat, and also potatoes and corn, because I love corn. There's also some typical dish called ceviche. Ceviche is a coastal traditional food, and it's made out of shrimps and lemon and tomato. I think it's quite unique, and nowhere else in the world you can find something like that. It's quite delicious. There's also really spicy food, so maybe that's the kind of food, the food I don't like too much because it's too spicy and it makes you sweat.
Oh, it sounds actually very exotic. What about staple food in Ecuador? What is it, the staple food? For example, in Mexico we have tortilla. What about Ecuador? What is the most common food?
Well, yeah, in Ecuador we also have tortillas, but they have different names. For example, we have arepas, which are made of corn also. So the staple food in Ecuador is similar to Mexico and Colombia also because it's composed of corn and potatoes. And mainly people in Ecuador, they love potatoes and corn, and especially corn because there are many different kinds of corn, so they can make many different kinds of soups and also kind of a bread made of corn and cookies and so on.
It really sounds delicious. Now I'm very curious to try it. But thank you for enlightening me about Ecuadorian food.
No, you're welcome. Have a nice trip.
Thank you.
So, Mike, the other day my friends and I were talking about ideal hotels. What is your ideal hotel?
Well, there are many hotels that would appeal to me, but I'd say my ideal hotel would, number one, have to have a gorgeous view from the room. And if we're talking about idealistic, I would choose a hotel that is suspended over the water, just off the beach. And my ideal hotel would be not a hotel where the rooms are all connected, but rather rooms being separate villas or bungalows, and those villas to be situated just above the water. So when you wake up in the morning, you're literally above the water already. You're already on the beach. And to get from your room to the beach, you have to walk out and you wade in the water until you get to the beach. So a place like that, definitely my ideal hotel would, something like that. My ideal hotel would have to be situated in nature, and I would really love it to have a location that would provide me with opportunities to do a lot of cool activities, perhaps adventure stuff in nature, dealing with animals, that type of thing, being able to see the local color of the area. So that would probably be my ideal hotel. One other point I'd like to make is that the hotel would have to have unbelievable food. And I think a hotel with good food, and not just good food, but a lot of options for food. So when you wake up in the morning and you go for a breakfast buffet, you have a choice of virtually any different type of food that there is. A lot of good hotels are limited to what kind of food they offer, even if the food is high quality. So that would be another aspect for me that would be quite important for my ideal hotel.
Yeah, sounds like a nice hotel that you just described.
Yeah, absolutely. So when we're talking about ideal hotels, what do you think is an ideal hotel for you?
That's a tough question, but when I choose a hotel, I would look at where the hotel is located,
Right.
and also the food.
Right.
So as long as the hotel is surrounded by nature, preferably on the water.
Okay.
And maybe some mountains in the back. And if the food, the breakfast and dinner and, all the food that they have is amazing, I'm good. I'm set.
Now, what about facilities? I mean, hotels have various facilities, whether it's gyms or movie rooms or computer rooms that allow you to do, internet and various things. Some hotels have pools. Would those be things that you would want in your ideal hotel?
Oh yeah, gym I'm not so interested in because I can, play sports outside when I'm surrounded by nature. Why would I be, inside working out?
Right.
But in terms of the swimming pool, I'm actually interested because when I was looking at pictures, I don't know which country it was, but there's an outdoor pool, like infinity pool, that looked like it was connected to the ocean, and it was just so beautiful. And before I thought, why would I swim in the swimming pool when I have an ocean in front of me? But if there is a swimming pool like that at the hotel, I'll definitely stay there for a long time.
Right. Now, what about spa facilities? Massages and different spa treatments. Is that something that would interest you in your ideal hotel?
Oh, yes, for sure. I am so into massages, and yeah, I would definitely want massage room and spas in the hotel. That would be perfect.
Oh, okay. And, there are some really expensive hotels that offer the service of a personal butler. Do you think that would be necessary for you in your ideal hotel, or would that be one amenity that you could do without?
I think it depends, but I don't really. When I'm staying at the hotel, I would usually, want to be alone and want to enjoy my time with my family or my husband or myself, that I actually don't want anyone following me everywhere I go. So, to a lot of people might be, that's a good idea. It's a nice treat to have, but I am personally not up for that.
Okay, well, sounds like a pretty nice hotel you've just described.